Chapter 68. Jeff walked ahead of Donald down the bright hall. He figured if they headed in one direction long enough, they would hit the other side of the building and maybe a stairwell or elevator. But he was unsure of himself. It actually impaired his very steps, hesitating, then halting him. They really needed Laura. He felt like rushing back. If they stayed with her, they wouldn't risk being caught wandering these halls. But how long could they wait with no plan? What if she never woke? He didn't want to think about that, but he had to. They also would be eventually getting caught, just waiting. With the morning sun, this place would no doubt be crawling with staff. That is probably what Laura meant when she said they didn't have much time. Since the staff discovered Ashley and Tina, they would be leery to have anyone without a lot of supervision now. Or maybe they would increase the sleeping drug to levels that would never allow awakenings again. He looked at his watch. 3:17 a.m. But suppose Laura had just awoken. Now he was moving away from her and the girls. He turned to Donald. The large man was looking behind them as well. The straps of his hospital gown had loosened, causing the back to gape open, revealing several moles amongst a plethora of black hairs growing along his spine. Donald turned forward with a questioning look. "What?" Jeff asked. "Why did we stop? Are we doing the right thing?" Donald had lost the menacing appearance he had possessed in the dream state. The expansive tan overcoat with magical dark matter, the black steel-toed boots, and the intense glare of his intelligent dark eyes, all were absent. His face showed vulnerability and insecurity. Jeff found himself wishing for the old Donald, the one who lacked fear, chasing people through neighborhoods with unshakable confidence and laughter, unable to be winded, presaging people's deaths. "I don't know," Donald gibbered. He looked like a lost boy, stuck in the bodybuilder's frame. "You're the one who said we should check the first floor." "That's not what I wanted to hear." "Let's just start moving. Standing here is giving me the creeps." "Stairwells are usually in corners. Let's head down this hall to a corner." They continued walking for a minute. Although the hall was bisected by many others, they stayed on that one. The hall ended at another, which ran perpendicular to it. No corner in sight. This hall had doors on either side, just like all the other halls. No windows informed him of where in relation he was to the guardhouse outside. He tried a room on the far side that should have windows. Donald reached into one of his sleeves of his light blue gown, appearing fearsome for a split second, and then just silly as he scratched his armpit. Inside the room, there was a single window. They had indeed reached the other side of the building. Jeff went to the glass. It showed more of the parking lot. The electric fence with barbed wire was illuminated from light poles positioned every so often along the perimeter, brightening 15 feet outside into the wilderness, revealing brush, weeds, but mostly dirt. Black hills lay beyond, with dark blue sky and several stars as the firmament of night. No gate or guards were on this side. There were fewer parking spaces here and no cars. Perhaps this would be the best place to scale the fence. They would be less likely to be seen here. And if anyone did follow, they could use the wilderness as cover. The street would be a predictable route and risky to trek. But they needed to shut off the electricity. Laura knows how to do that. They exited the room, turned right, and tried another with the same results. He wasn't sure what he was expecting. They kept walking the hall until it ended perpendicular to another. After turning left, opening a door, and looking out the window, Jeff found this side facing a narrow alley, wide enough for a single car, tightly bordered by the building and the fence. "How the hell do we get to a corner of this place?" he asked, exasperated. "We keep winding up in the middle of the edge of the building. This hall should have taken us to a corner because we were just on the edge before. Edges lead to corners." Donald shrugged. Let's try going right this time." He groaned but followed the big man. They passed the previous hall that they had been on, which should have been impossible since it had windows to the outside in the direction they now traveled. They ended up at another hall that ran perpendicular to the one they were on. It went both directions instead of a single one to the right, which it should have done. A single direction would indicate they reached a corner. "What the hell?" Jeff said mostly to himself. There were windows on the left, facing the narrow alley on the last hall. So this should be a corner. He pointed vigorously at the floor. "This hall is wrong." He walked forward into a room, tried a door, and looked out the window. As expected, it showed the lit fence, the small parking area, and no cars. But it was not a corner. There was no way to open the window, so he pressed his face to it and looked right and left, trying to find an end to the building, but couldn't quite get a view. "Where the hell are we?"